Hey guys, welcome back to another sports stuff video. This will be a very late night video. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification button notified when I post next. Now, the video to be doing today is obviously from the title and the thumbnail you can see is Knicks picks of the week. That's my official pick'ems of this season. Knicks picks of the week. This will be a very late video. I apologize. I was viewing houses all day actually. I'm trying to buy a house, so I was viewing houses all day. But let's officially get into this video. I'm excited to show you guys what I think is gonna happen in this week one, week one pick'ems. So we're using playoffpredictors.com because I like with their format. So what we got, I guess the Bills already beat the Rams, so we'll leave that right there. So we have, first up is the Colts versus the Texans. Colts at Texans is going to be the very first one up. This is going to be a very fun game. I think week one, we might see the Texans somehow beat the Colts, but I'm still going to take the Colts. I know Shaquille Leonard is not going to be playing week one. That is Darius Leonard. If you guys don't know yet, he wants to go by Shaquille, so we call him Shaquille. Shaquille Leonard will not be playing week one. He's already been ruled out. I see that's a big hit on the defense. But I want to see what Dameon Pierce is like. I want to see what this offense can be with this Texans offense, because their offense is going to be carrying their defense. If they win any games this year, it's going to be because of their offense, not because of their defense. So I am going to go with the Colts. I like Matt Ryan. I like the offense more than I like the Texans. Next up is the Steelers-Bengals. I'm going to be going the Bengals, actually, week one. I think, unlike the Rams, the Bengals did not win the Super Bowl, so I think they have something to prove. I think this would be a concisive, easy. I would be surprised if this was less than a 15-point win. If this is a 2-score win for the Bengals, I wouldn't be surprised. Just because the Steelers' new quarterback, offensive line still not great. They lost a lot of pieces in that secondary in free agency. They didn't really replace them. So I think this wide receiver core is going to go nasty against the Steelers. Now, and the Bengals also have an improved offensive line against the Steelers. They lost Tyson Alualu to retirement. I believe they lost someone else to retirement who's an edge rusher. Can't remember his name. But I think the Bengals easily beat the Steelers by at least 2 scores. Next up is Jets-Ravens. I think the Ravens are going to beat the Jets. Not because I think the Jets are bad. It's because of how good I think the Ravens actually are. And Lamar Jackson is playing on not a franchise tag. He's playing on his 5th-year option to make $23 million this year. They will not pay him what he wants. So I think Lamar Jackson is going to ball out this year and be a top 3 guy in MVP voting and lead the Ravens to the number 1 seed in the AFC. I think the Ravens and the Bills are the 2 teams competing for the number 1 seed in the AFC. I think that Lamar Jackson is going to show he's another MVP-worthy season, and he deserves to get paid, and I believe it. Again, that means the Jets, you're still a good team. I still have the Jets going like 9-8, 10-7. I still think the Jets are a good team, but I think week one, Lamar Jackson's pissed off at his own ownership. I think Lamar Jackson's going to go off against this Jets team without Zach Wilson. Instead is pushing out 39-year-old Joe Flacco. Next up is Patriots-Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are going to win this game pretty easily as well. I'm not a big fan of the Patriots. They don't have an offensive coordinator I trust. They don't have an offensive weapon I trust. I like their running backs. I like Hunter Henry. I like Jonnu Smith. I like Devontae Parker. I like their running backs, but there's no one that I would want as my number 1 that's on their team as a number 1. I wouldn't really feel comfortable with Hunter. Hunter Henry is a top half of the league starter tight end. Damian Harris slash Ramondre Stevenson is a top half of the league starting running back. They're not top 10. They have no Pro Bowl caliber player on their offense at the skill position. So for me, that's not good enough to beat this Dolphins team that every position on their offense, they have a Pro Bowl caliber guy, except for quarterback. Obviously, quarterback, I'm not trying to be mean to Tua. I'm just being honest. Except for Tua, everyone in this offense for the Miami Dolphins can be a Pro Bowler. On defense, it's much improved from last year, in my opinion. I do like the Dolphins. I think they have a really good season. I think they're going to compete for the playoffs at the number 2 seed in the AFC East. Next up is the Raiders-Chargers. I have the Chargers pretty heavy-handedly. Again, the Chargers, for me, the offense is going to be consistent as it was last year. For the Raiders, it's going to be a couple hiccups for the first week or two because it's such a new offense. It's a new coach. It is new weapons. It's new old weapons for Derek Carr because they were college teammates, but it's new old weapons. With Devontae Adams, he's still going to put up a lot of good numbers, but I think the chemistry's got to get back to where it was. And Hunter Renfrow and Darren Waller are going to have to figure out what they're going to be in this offense with the new head coach. And I think the Chargers are carrying over the same offensive squad from last year. I just think that the Chargers are going to be able to do whatever they want because they're carrying over the exact same offense as it was last year. And the defense is much improved. As both defenses got improved over the offseason, but I think the Chargers improved so much more than the Raiders did just because of how good their signings were. So I do think the Chargers will win by the Raiders. It'll be a close game in my opinion. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. Obviously, we already know what happens with the Bills. Bills beat the Rams. This is an interesting game. Jaguars at Commanders. I have the Jaguars winning this, actually. Doug Peterson is a good head coach. I like Doug Peterson. The fact that he took a year to take, to not head coach, to just take a year and reflect on what was happening in the league, and be like, you know what, I need to take a year off, rethink what's going on, and we'll come back to the drawing board. I like that. I like Trevor Lawrence. I like this offense in essence, and I like all the defensive additions they did in the offseason. Trayvon Walker was a shocker at number 1. I would have taken Aiden Hutchinson, but Trayvon Walker is still an athletic freak, still really good. Next to Josh Allen, he's going to be really good. Their linebackers, they have a lot of good linebackers, good young linebackers. Secondary is a little iffy, but I do like Shaquille Griffin. So I think this defense has a chance to be really good, and this offense has a chance to be solid. I still don't have them as winning their division, but I do think the Jaguars can win a couple of games that we'd be shocked. But against the Commanders, who really, they don't have Chase Young for the first 4 games. Montez Sweat is still, injured from last year as well. They have Carson Wentz at quarterback. I'd rather take the Jaguars, and I'd put money on the Jaguars to win by at least 2 scores. Next up is the Browns at Panthers. I have the Browns winning this game, actually. I think what they're going to do is keep the ball out of Jacoby Brissett's hands as much as possible. Nothing against Jacoby Brissett, but again, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are both top 5 running backs. If both of them were starting, getting 30 carries a game, they both would be top 5 running backs. So I think that with the Browns having 2 of the top 5 running backs, having Amari Cooper, having David Njoku, there's not much that you can do wrong in this offense. DPJ even is a slept-on receiver. I think at the wide receiver 2 position, with Amari Cooper drawing double coverage, I think he'll have a lot of open lanes. You have slot with David Bell / Anthony Schwartz. But again, this offensive line is back healthy. This defense is amazing. I think this defense is going to kill Baker Mayfield, because the last time Baker Mayfield faced a Joe Woods defense was week 4 of 2019, where Baker had one of his worst performances of his career against the 49ers. I still remember watching that game with Nick Bosa planting the flag after beating us. That hurt a lot, man. But I think Baker Mayfield, nothing against him. It's just I don't think he's going to be able to beat this Browns defense that's so much more improved than it was last year. It's another year of guys getting better and more chemistry. I wouldn't be surprised if Greg Newsome gets his first career interception against Baker Mayfield this year. And I'm being honest. JOK is going to be a beast. Myles Garrett, at least 2 sacks. I'm being serious. At least 2 sacks for Myles Garrett. Next up is the Chiefs at the Cardinals. Easy. Chiefs beat the Cardinals, in my opinion. The Cardinals, they don't have DeAndre Hopkins for the first couple of weeks of the season. And I believe they also don't have Zach Ertz this game. If I remember reading the report correctly, they don't have Zach Ertz for week 1. But I know that Rondale Moore has already been ruled out. I know Rondale Moore. I know DeAndre Hopkins won't be there. You have Marquise Brown and AJ Green and Andy Isabella as a receiver core for week 1. I'm not putting my money on that. I'm putting my money on Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Juju Smith-Schuster, Sky Moore, MVS. I think this team is going to easily beat the Cardinals. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cardinals have a really rough 1-5, 3-3 start to where then they pick it up once they get DeAndre Hopkins back. But I don't trust the Cardinals coming off of not having one of the best receivers in the league right now. Next up is the Giants-Titans. I'm going to take the Titans over the Giants. Daniel Jones had a really good preseason. This is not a besmirk on Daniel Jones. He looked much improved in the preseason. I just think that Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill are just too good to lose to this Giants defense that just released Blake Martinez, their starting linebacker. They have Tay Crowder as their starting linebacker. I do like Azeez Ojulari. Who they grab in the first round? Kayvon Thibodeau and Azeez Ojulari are very different pass rushers. One's a speed rusher, one's a power rusher. But I think they're both going to feast on this Titans offensive line. But I would still put my money on Derrick Henry. I'm still going to put my money on Ryan Tannehill against this kind of defense. They don't really have a secondary I trust right now. I do like Julian Love, though. Julian Love is underrated. But I would just put my money on the Titans winning. This would be a close game, in my opinion. This could be easily a 3-point game where the Titans sneak by and win. But I might put my money on the Titans. Next up is the Broncos-Seahawks. I'm going Broncos. Let's be honest here, guys. The Seahawks aren't beating the Broncos week 1. They may put up a fight, like a slight fight, of like, oh, hey, in the first quarter, Geno Smith's first drive is a touchdown, so they're up 7-0. And it's tied in the first quarter. but I think the Broncos are going to smoke the Seahawks in the second half. I think Russ might throw for 4 touchdowns, 300 yards. And I think Rashad Penny and Kenneth Walker are going to split carries, be really good. The Broncos defense, I'm a little worried about. The linebacker position, I like Alexander Johnson. I like Josie Joe. I like Baron Browning. Obviously, I like Randy Gregory. But I don't trust their linebacker core as much as I wish I could. But the Seahawks, they're going to lose. Nothing against the Seahawks either. It's just that their roster isn't better than the Broncos. They don't have a quarterback. If they had a quarterback, I think they might actually have a chance to compete for like the 7th seed in the playoffs. But they just don't have a quarterback. So the Broncos easily. I think this could be easily by 3 scores. I'm not gonna do score predictions for week 1. I haven't thought about it that much. Maybe next week. Next up is in the NFC. 49ers at Bears. I'm going to be taking the 49ers over the Bears. Again, this is a shocker. I think the Bears could beat the 49ers week 1. Trey Lance's first official start as the starter of the 49ers. I think the Bears, Justin Fields looks really good in the preseason, man. Again, it is preseason, but against the Cleveland Browns, he looked really good against us. I think Justin Fields has a chance to be a really good quarterback this year. Show that he's taking that sophomore step. Instead of a sophomore slump, he's taking a sophomore step. I do like the 49ers over that team, though. I think that their offense is just better. Their defense is just better. The head coach is just better because Matt Eberflus really hasn't proved anything yet as a head coach. I trust the 49ers over the Bears, but I would not be shocked if the Bears actually won this game. Next up is one of the hardest games I actually had to pick this weekend. I'm going the Eagles, obviously, because I think the Eagles are going to go be one of the best teams in the NFC. But the Lions, again, I think the NFC North is going to cause a lot of fits, guys. I think all 4 teams in the NFC North can win any Sunday. Because I think all 4 teams, for different reasons, are good enough to make the playoffs. Well, not the Bears. Not really. The Bears can't make the playoffs. But I think all 4 of them any given week can win for certain reasons. The Bears, Justin Fields can carry them to a win. The Lions, everything but Jared Goff can carry them to a win. The Vikings, everything can carry them to a win. The Packers, Aaron Rodgers can carry you to a win. So it really is the NFC North. Any team can win any weekend. But I think against the Eagles week 1, the Eagles are on fire right now. They just got C.J. Gardner-Johnson. This team is going to be on fire this season. I think the Lions will be the first victim to it. They start 0-1, but I do think that this Lions squad with Dan Campbell and that really young defense, that really young offense, I'm excited to see this Lions team. I have them making the playoffs this year. I have them as the Eagles of last year over succeeding. Going over what we project. I project them to be 9-8 and be the 7th seed. So I have them being the Eagles of last year, going 9-8, being that 7th seed, losing in the wild card, but getting that playoff experience that makes your front office and your ownership want to buy in right now and trade for everyone, sign everyone you can to make a better playoff push next year. Next up is the Saints versus the Falcons. I have the Saints winning. I don't really trust the Falcons at all on defense. They have pieces I like. I like AJ Terrell. That's it. You know, there's guys I like on the squad. Jalen Hawkins, I like. I like Richie Grant. I like Deion Jones. I like Grady Jarrett. But I don't really think those 4 guys are as good as AJ Terrell. And AJ Terrell can't carry this defense completely. This offense is a little rough. I'm more excited for Desmond Ridder, maybe starting halfway through the season, because I like Cincinnati. I'm not a Cincinnati fan, but I like watching Cincinnati because I like the Bearcats like mentality of us against the world. And that's kind of what the Browns have, so I really respect that. But yeah, I think the Saints are going to smoke the Falcons. I like the Saints way more. Jarvis Landry is going to catch a touchdown. I can't wait to celebrate for my boy Jarvis Landry. Next up is the Packers versus the Vikings. I'm going Packers. The Vikings are a boom or bust team, in my opinion. If they boom, easily they can be in the playoffs and win the NFC North. If they bust, they can go 6-11. They can go 9-8. Like, this team is gonna be boom or bust. I have them going 8-9 completely in the season, but as the season goes on, I already said I'm allowed to change that. I do think that the Packers are a better team than the Vikings right now. Just because that defense. If that defense I knew was going to be 100% healthy, it was going to mesh together under new head coach Kevin O'Connell. I don't know who their DC is, actually. I don't know who their defensive coordinator is. But I just think that the Packers are going to beat the Vikings. It might be a close game. But I think the Packers will edge out and beat the Vikings. Finally, Sunday Night Football is the Buccaneers versus the Cowboys. I'm going Buccaneers because the Cowboys lost so much during the offseason. They lost 3 starters on the offensive line. Tyron Smith is obviously injured right now. They lost 3 starters on the offensive line. And then, didn't Jason Peters get hurt? No, Dwayne Brown got hurt. So Jason Peters is 41 years old, signed with the Cowboys, will start week 1 for the Cowboys. Will he get injured? We don't know. But I do like Jason Peters. I think he will be able to start at least week 1, but they still lost Connor Williams. They still lost Lyle Collins. They still lost Tyron Smith for a couple of games. It wasn't for the season. I don't think it was a season-long injury. I thought it was just a couple-week injury. But, like, on defense, you lost Randy Gregory. You lost Keanu Neal. On offense, you lost Amari Cooper. Like, there's just so many losses on this team. I want to see what they look like after week 1. The Buccaneers, yes, their defensive line took a major hit this offseason in depth and in starters, but I do think that their offense is going to be able to cover for that, for at least for the first couple weeks of the season. I think that the Buccaneers will beat the Cowboys Sunday Night Football. I'm excited. I'm excited for this week, man. That's my official Knicks Picks of the Week. Thank you guys for watching week 1 of Knicks Picks of the Week. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. 15 minutes. Wow, that's not bad. It's 11:08 a.m. the day before Sunday, so hope I can get this out by midnight. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy. Every week, every Saturday. I'm trying to do it every Saturday. I'll be posting my Knicks Picks of the Week. But thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Peace and bye.